Hey guys, today we're going to be looking at how to set up our class websites. So, first of all, you're going to make a Google site. I do know that there are other website creation tools that are allow for more creativity and may even be easier to use. However, district requirements is that our teacher website must be a Google site. So you're going to go in your Google Drive, you're going to go to New, and then you're going to go to More, and you're going to go click on Google Sites. Now, once you're here, you're going to be given, it's a very plain, straightforward template. And of course, you can keep your template just like this if you want to. I would recommend getting everything set up and then going back and doing a little bit with some changing some background images on your header and some color schemes, which I will go into in a little bit. And the reason that I suggest this, of course, it's perfectly acceptable for you to just leave this straight up template the way it is with the colors and everything. But just as a reminder, a lot of times parents, this is the first thing that they go to when they are looking for information about a class. It's the most easily accessible. Parents can't see everything that's going on in Google Classroom. They can only get reports on their students' progress. So they can't see everything that you're posting in Google Classroom. So this is oftentimes their first view of your class that you're teaching their child. And so keeping in mind that that professional presence is something that can leave a good first impression on our parents. So um, even though you don't have to, it doesn't hurt to go and add a little bit with some aesthetics to give yourself that boost in your professional presence online. But for now, we're going to leave the template the way it is, and we'll come back later and add some of those finishing touches. So the first thing you're going to do is give your site a name. I would go with something very simple. So I would somehow in the site title put your name in there. You could put the subject you teach. However, I know a lot of our teachers teach more than one subject. And so unless you want to create separate web pages for each subject, which I do not recommend, you will want to keep it more generic with just your name. So there's a couple of things that you can do. If you have more than one subject that you teach, which I know a lot of you do, I would recommend making your front page, or it's as it's called, your landing page. I would make your landing page something generic. So something simple and straightforward. And then I would make the information on the first page be generic, either some information about you as a teacher, kind of like your introductory bio. That's what I would put here on the landing page. All right, so as you can see right here, I have just an introductory bio, pretty generic, some photos of me and my family. And I did those over here through the insert, and I inserted a text box right here, and I put in my text, and then I inserted images that were saved on my computer. So that's how I did my introductory page. So this is what I would recommend for really anybody, but especially those of you who have more than one class, because what you're going to want to do for the sake of clarity is you're going to want to have different tabs for each of the content areas that you teach. So for example, we're going to go here to pages. This is where you're going to add in those tabs. And so right now, all we have is our home page, and we're going to add in. So let's say I teach biology and then I teach forensic science. So now I have a separate page for each of those contents. And so then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in to my different pages. So I'm in my biology CP page. And if I click on insert here, that takes me back to my options of how I can set everything up. So there are a total of 4 things that are required by the district for you to have on your website. The first thing is a syllabus. Then you also need to have your office hours, your daily schedule, and your contact information. So your syllabus, or actually we'll start off with our schedule. So you can do that pretty easily through just adding in a text box. So I just clicked on text box and it popped up here. Now I can adjust this text box so that I can have multiple things across my page. So I usually will kind of set it up. I usually try to set it up so that I can have 2 to 3 things side by side. All right, so I'm just going to add in that information. So one of the things that I want you to notice is that just like in a Word document or a Google Doc, when you start to type, you have all of your options that you would really in any word processor, where you can center align it, right align it, left align it. You can do bold, italics, underline. You can change the color of your text. So I usually do that to kind of draw attention to important things like which lunch we have. So I might blue and then my planning period. So I have created now, this is my daily schedule. And something that you can do, especially since a lot of the information aside from your syllabus is probably going to be similar on your biology page and my forensic science page or whatever your content areas are. I can copy and paste this information. So for example, here, I'm just going to copy that. And then I'm going to go into my forensic science, add a text box, resize it. And then I'm just going to paste that so that I'm not having to retype the same thing more than once. Because your schedule and your contact information for sure are going to be the same on each of those tabs. Now, to add in your other pieces of information, you're just going to click on another text box. Now notice it automatically puts it down below. That's because you see that it automatically defaults to taking the entire page width. So if I decrease the size of that, and then I can move that to here. Okay. And then I can duplicate that so that it's the same size and move it up here. So now I have a place to put my schedule. I have a place to put, this is where I would input contact information. And then this is where I might put my office hours. Now, once I have those pieces of information, and again, these things are probably going to be the same for all of your subjects. Of course, for your contact information, just to reiterate, you're not putting your personal contact information, you're putting your school email and your school phone number. So make sure that you put those specific pieces of information. Use your greenville.k12 email and not your greenvilleschools.us email. I would also, um, like I said, just copy these and paste them into your other tabs. Now we're going to get into the syllabus. And the best way to add your syllabus in, honestly, is probably going to be to embed it. Now, you could always put in just a hyperlink. Like I could take any of these things and I could hyperlink it. I could insert a link. But for visibility and ease of access, I recommend embedding. And so what you're going to do is you're going to press embed, and you're going to need the URL. And so I'm going to go to my Google Drive and I'm going to get my syllabus. So we're going to pretend right here that this is my syllabus. It's really not, but I don't have a syllabus. So we're going to pretend that this is my syllabus right here. And I'm going to first, this is the most important thing, is making sure that my sharing settings are so that anybody can see it. So I'm going to take my syllabus and I'm going to press share. And see, right now it's restricted. And so only specific people that I've given access are capable of seeing it. So I need to change this so that anyone with the link, do not press Greenville County School District, because that means that parents are unable to see that syllabus. And we have to make it accessible to parents. So it needs to be set to anyone with the link. All right. And then I'm going to copy that link. So that's going to give me my URL. And then I'm going to press done. Now I'm going to go back to my website and I'm going to paste that URL and I'm going to press insert. And you can see that now it has put this into my page. Now you can see it's kind of cut it off, and that's okay. If you want to leave it like this, when it's viewed, it will just have a scroll bar. I prefer to increase my size, but that's completely up to you how you want to do it. So now I have right here. And so once I have added this and I have my contact info, my office hours, and my schedule and my syllabus, I now have all of the bare minimum requirements of what I need to have on my website. So now I want to talk for a minute about just kind of adding some aesthetics. You can do this pretty easily. So the first thing you can do is probably the easiest, is this background image. You can upload a background image. Now, to do that, you need to have a photo saved. So I'm going to show you the easiest way to do this is I would go to Google and I'll go to Google Images and I would search for something related to my field. So I teach science, so I would do, and if you put banner background, it's going to give it that wide but short so that it's not going to stretch your things out. So I'm going to choose this one. I, in general, wouldn't recommend doing ones with tons of words, because that's going to make it harder to read the actual words you have on there. But you could if you found one that said the name of the subject you teach, you could 100% do that and then completely get rid of this text right here. This text doesn't have to be here. So if I have a text that says science, then I could get rid of this altogether. But that's up to you. So I'm going to take and just look until I find one I like. Now, I'm not going to use this one, even though I really like it, because it has a watermark on it. You want to avoid watermarks. That means it's copyrighted. Um, and it would be very visible that we're infringing on copyright, and we can't be doing that. So make sure that whatever you're choosing does not have a watermark on it. And you may have to search around a little bit to find something you like that doesn't have watermarks. This one has no watermarks, and I'm like, oh, I really like this one. So I am going to save my image. Okay, so now I've saved my image. So now I can go here to image, upload. And remember, I can always move around my text. So now I have a setup that I really like. And I could do different headings on my other pages. Or I could just make it all be the same. I could put the same exact heading on all of my pages. So up to you how you do that. But what I want you to see is just this small change, just adding that different header really gives it a more professional look, because now my header looks like it was custom made for what it is that I teach. So just things like that can really go a long way in adding to the professional look, and it really doesn't require a lot of extra work to make that happen. So I would highly recommend that once you have those required things on there, that you go back and start toying around with some different ways to format your page so that you can have that extra additional layer of professional look on your site.